Today, we'll be exploring well-rated games versus poorly rated games across different classic consoles. Keep in mind, these picks might not necessarily represent the absolute best or worst games out there, but rather an interesting comparison of what each system has to offer, both the celebrated gems and the infamous missteps. Let's dive in. Shenmue, or Shenmue, a highly influential open-world game praised for its detailed world, realistic mechanics, and innovative storytelling. It showcased the technical capabilities of the Dreamcast. Versus Spirit of Speed 1937, a racing game set in the 1930s that was criticized for sluggish controls, poor physics, and a lack of excitement, making it one of the least memorable titles on the system. GTA San Andreas, a revolutionary open-world action-adventure with a massive map, deep storytelling, and endless player freedom. It became a benchmark for games of its kind. Versus The Guy Game, a controversial trivia game with shallow mechanics and questionable content. It was poorly received and became infamous for legal issues surrounding its release.
Deck of playing cards. Which suits king has no mustache?
Super Smash Bros. Melee, a competitive and polished fighting game with a beloved cast of Nintendo characters. It's still a staple in the competitive gaming scene today. Versus Aquaman Battle for Atlantis, a superhero game that failed to deliver engaging gameplay with stiff controls and underwhelming visuals, making it one of the least popular GameCube titles. Super Mario Galaxy, a platforming masterpiece, praised for its creative level design, innovative use of gravity mechanics, and visually stunning presentation. Versus Chicken Shoot, a simple point-and-shoot game criticized for repetitive gameplay, low production quality, and a lack of depth. Gears of War, a gritty third-person shooter that introduced revolutionary cover-based combat, tight multiplayer modes, and cinematic visuals. Versus Kinect Adventures, a motion-controlled game that showcased the Kinect hardware but lacked depth, often feeling more like a tech demo than a full game. And here, we couldn't even get it started.
Looks like we need to split up.
The Last of Us, a story-driven action-adventure game celebrated for its emotional narrative, realistic characters, and innovative gameplay mechanics. Versus Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. The PS3 version of this action game suffered from significant graphical downgrades and performance issues compared to its superior PS4 counterpart.
Does anyone come in here?
No, who would come in here?
Don't go near the doors. Just stand back there.
Dad, you're kind of freaking me out. What's going on?
Halo, a groundbreaking first-person shooter that established the Xbox as a strong competitor in the console market, featuring iconic gameplay and multiplayer modes. Versus Drake of the 99 Dragons, a third-person shooter widely criticized for its clunky controls, lackluster story, and uninspired gameplay.
Take a quick walk around the cryo bay and join me at the optical diagnostic station when you're ready.
Final Fantasy VII, a seminal JRPG that brought cinematic storytelling and epic world-building to the forefront, solidifying its place as one of the most celebrated games of all time. Versus Bubsy 3D, an attempt to bring the Bubsy series into 3D that failed due to awkward controls, poor camera mechanics, and uninspired level design.
You'll be in for some surprises!
Metal Slug, a run-and-gun classic known for its tight gameplay, charming humor, and beautifully animated pixel art. It's a standout on the Neo Geo CD. Versus Rally Chase, a lesser title on the Neo Geo CD, offering dated visuals and gameplay that fails to stand out compared to the system's stronger offerings. King of Fighters 98, a pinnacle in 2D fighting games, praised for its balanced roster, deep mechanics, and competitive play. Versus Burning Fight, a beat-em-up that attempted to mimic popular games such as Final Fight, but fell short with repetitive combat and lackluster design. The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, an action-adventure game that redefined 3D gaming, setting standards for world design, storytelling, and gameplay mechanics. Versus Superman 64, an infamous game due to its confusing objectives, poor controls, and repetitive gameplay, widely regarded as one of the worst games ever made. Blazing Lasers, a highly regarded shoot-'em-up known for its tight controls, fast-paced action, and impressive visuals for the time. Versus Jack Nicklaus Turbo Golf, a sports game with limited appeal, often criticized for its unremarkable gameplay and dated mechanics and very long load times.
Photon Factor. Field Thunder.
Castlevania Rondo of Blood, a standout title on the PC Engine CD, praised for its gameplay, graphics, and one of the best soundtracks in the Castlevania series. Versus Fighting Street, the original version of Street Fighter, remembered more for its historical significance than its gameplay, which was clunky and less refined compared to the later entries. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, a top-down action-adventure praised for its tight gameplay, intricate puzzles, and compelling world design. Versus Shaq Fu, a fighting game with clunky mechanics and poor execution, often cited as a low point in the genre. Super Mario Bros. 3, a hallmark of platforming excellence, featuring creative levels, varied power-ups, and refined gameplay that set the standard for future titles. Versus Action 52, a compilation of poorly developed minigames, criticized for bugs, uninspired design, and a lack of polish. Phantasy Star, a groundbreaking RPG for its time, known for its deep story, vibrant graphics, and memorable characters. Versus Great Volleyball, a basic sports title that failed to stand out due to simple gameplay and limited replayability. Sonic CD, a well-regarded Sonic entry with unique time travel mechanics, vibrant visuals, and a memorable soundtrack. Versus Make My Video Marky Mark, a video editing game with limited interactivity and gameplay, remembered more as a novelty than a meaningful experience.
So what's the score, guys? Video about
I say power. Power, and cut that credit card. I want it out of my video.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2, a sequel that expanded upon the original with tighter gameplay, improved level design, and the introduction of a fan-favorite character, Tails. Versus Dark Castle, a poorly received game with frustrating controls and uninspired level design that failed to impress Genesis players. Adventure, one of the first action-adventure games known for its innovative gameplay and exploration mechanics, versus E.T., a game notorious for its rushed development, leading to confusing gameplay and a lack of polish. Donkey Kong, a strong home console adaptation of the arcade classic, retaining much of the original's charm and gameplay. Versus Campaign 84, a little-known title that didn't make much of an impression due to its lackluster design and execution, and being about politics. Virtua Racing Deluxe, a solid arcade-style racing game, praised for its smooth visuals and enhanced performance on the 32X. Versus Cosmic Carnage, a fighting game that was criticized for its clunky mechanics, uninspired design, and unappealing visuals, making it one of the weaker titles for the system. Virtua Fighter 2, a landmark 3D fighting game that was praised for its fluid animations, deep mechanics, and responsive controls. It demonstrated the Saturn's graphical capabilities and became a genre-defining title. Versus Double Switch, a full-motion video adventure game centered around puzzle solving and live-action sequences. While it was creatively ambitious, it received mixed reviews due to its niche appeal and limited interactivity.
This is my building, and since the neighborhood really sucks, I built all these traps and security systems to protect the people who live here. The problem is some bonehead locked me in the basement and cut off my controls. Except they forgot about it.
And that wraps up our journey through some of the well-rated and poorly rated games for each console. It's fascinating to see how the same hardware that brought us timeless classics also delivered some of gaming's most notorious missteps. Remember, whether a game is great or terrible, it's all part of what makes gaming history so rich and diverse. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more console combat showdowns. Until next time.